getting into the later half of August, and why am I reviewing a Halloween special? Because Halloween's going to be here before we know it this year. I mean, half of August has already come and gone. So I figured I want to talk about one of my favorite things to watch around Halloween time, and that is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. And I got my little rubber ducky here, ready for Halloween to keep me company. I'm sorry, but I have to move you to show this off. Yeah, this was part of the Peanuts Blu-ray Holidays collection that I bought last year, and I figured I watched It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown this morning and really enjoyed it. I watched it with Riley, my daughter, and she's actually here just off camera. Say hi, girl. Oh, it's one of the few times she's actually silent. But anyway, I just want to come on and talk about this. And a lot of people are very familiar with the special and, watch it every year. They love to watch it with their family, and I fully stand behind that. One negative I'll start off with, sort of, is like how much Linus is really picked on in this special. And it's funny because actually, Linus is on the cover here with Snoopy and Charlie Brown, but it's funny how really little Charlie Brown is involved in this special. And it's funny though, even though it's called It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, how little involved he is. I mean, there's a little side plot where he basically just goes trick-or-treating with, the rest of the group and such. But most of this is centered around Linus, who is next to the pumpkin. And he basically believes that how Christmas has Santa Claus, that it's good to believe in something at Halloween time, like the Great Pumpkin, that there's something going to be called the Great Pumpkin that shows up and, that he sees, kind of like when people, stay up and are hoping to see Santa Claus. That's something I really liked about this, that it was like he really believed in something and really had a passion for something, that, there's a great pumpkin, so he stays in this pumpkin patch on Halloween night hoping to get at least a glimpse of the Great Pumpkin. And the concept is a little blurred as far as this goes, but he basically, pulls out all the stops, kind of like people do at Christmas time, where people will write letters to Santa. He writes a letter to the Great Pumpkin, and I like that he goes to mail the letter, and his sister Lucy, is really picking on him throughout this special, and was like, the mailbox that, he has to drop his envelope of the letter into is really high up. Is really high up, and basically she's like, how do you think you're even going to put that envelope in there? So he has his blanket that he always has, and he uses it as a lasso to pull the mailbox open, and he throws his letter behind him, but it makes a boomerang effect and goes right into the mailbox, and I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, you kind of feel bad for Linus throughout this special, because pretty much everyone just thinks he's crazy. And I mean, I think it is a good lesson of just being you can believe in something and have a real passion for something, but there are going to be a lot of naysayers behind it. And that's definitely apparent through this whole special. Lucy makes fun of him a ton. It's not until the very end where he falls asleep in the pumpkin patch. He doesn't see the Great Pumpkin at the end. Spoilers, hate to spoil it, but I mean, this thing is 60, 70 some years old probably at this point. And I mean, it is sad that obviously he doesn't see the Great Pumpkin, but it is something that he still doesn't give up on by the end of the special, when Charlie Brown's just like, hey, I've done stupider things in my life than believe in this giant pumpkin. And then Linus gets really defensive and really mad, and he's just like, stupid, and then he's just rambling to Charlie Brown as the credits roll. So it's he's still not over this yet. He still believes in it, and it is good to believe in something despite not always having what you're not always gonna get what you want. And on this Blu-ray, it does have another Peanuts special where it's called It's Magic Charlie Brown. I've had it on in the background, but I never really paid attention to it, and it is definitely among one of the newer Peanuts specials. My daughter Riley's here with me, so if she interrupts mid-conversation, I do apologize. But I do love the part where all the kids go trick-or-treating, and Charlie Brown, just wanted to dress up as a ghost, like the sheet with 2 holes cut out. but ends up he has like a bajillion holes cut out, so he just looks really silly. And anytime they go to a house, he just ends up getting a rock, and just that's like the running joke for like a couple like scene transitions. He's just like, oh, I got a chocolate bar, I got 5 pieces of candy, and then it cuts to Charlie, and he's just like, I got a rock. And that's one of my favorite things from this special. I'm actually watching this, I was like, you know what, that's Charlie Brown's like many holes cut out of the sheet like is a funny Halloween costume. Like I'd actually love to do that one year. um, Me and my wife are already kind of have plans of Dracula, Vampira, and our daughter Riley is dressing as a bat, so we're kind of the vampire family this year. But this is, I mean, despite all the flaws, like that, at least that I find in this, like how really mean everyone is towards Linus and what he believes in, and especially his sister Lucy is just like really ringing him out over something. It's like, this is so stupid and type stuff like that. It still is heartwarming that it's like Linus still at the end of this special still doesn't want to give up on the possibility that there is a great pumpkin. And I think that's definitely important for kids, that it's like he's still not losing his innocence in that. And especially with kids believing in Santa Claus and all all the spirit of Christmas, and especially just bringing some spirit into Halloween rather than trick-or-treating. They refer to trick-or-treating as tricks or treats, which is kind of funny. They make it plural in this, but this was a long time ago when it was made. So there is one aspect of this special involving Snoopy where Snoopy plays as a World War One fighter pilot. And I think some people would definitely get a little bit of like boredom from that. Luckily, this special is only like 25 minutes, but I feel like some people will probably not really take to the whole Snoopy side of the World War One pilot thing and that whole story, and like him just pretending to be a fighter pilot on top of his doghouse, and he gets shot down, and then he basically slowly makes his way like back home. And it is, even though it is very minor, it is probably the least interesting part of this whole special. And while most people love Snoopy, this is probably the weakest point of the special. I still think this is one of the best Halloween specials through and through of Charlie Brown, at least, or Peanuts in general. I would say this is a slight second as far as like comparing it to the Christmas special. Most people, like, I think that's the universal opinion that the Peanuts Christmas special is the best out of, at least between Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. The Thanksgiving one I do want to review because it is part of this collection that I have here, and I got this last year just to be able to watch the Christmas special. But I wanted to come on, talk about this. This is still a classic, I think. I mean, despite its nitpicks, I think it has aged very, very well, and it is still very enjoyable for kids to watch. And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can really complain about. I would just say, like, you can really have a lot of empathy for Linus, and even a lot of sympathy for Charlie Brown in this, because Charlie Brown gets basically no candy when he goes trick-or-treating, and Linus doesn't have any candy, but that's because he decided to wait for the great pumpkin in this big pumpkin patch. And I think actually is pretty cute that Charlie Brown's little sister Sally decides to wait with Linus because she has kind of a crush on him, and then towards the end she ends up being like, I wasted my Halloween doing this. And while it is funny, it is kind of tragic because it's like, at the end of the day, Linus is still the only person who really believes in the Great Pumpkin, but he's gonna do it again next year, as you can tell by the end of this special. So I do think that it still leaves a message of hope of you should still believe in something. Don't let people, tell you that you're wrong about believing in something or really having a passion behind something. Just continue to do it. If you just continue to do it, people will follow. And, some people are going to drop out after a short bit of time because they don't see it right away. It's one of those things that I still think holds very true, and it's very relatable to this day. And I just love Charlie Brown as a character. Like, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people who see themselves in Charlie Brown, but yeah, this one's mostly centered around Linus, and that's not a bad thing, honestly. I mean, because this is among one of the best Peanut TV specials. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about it. I mean, this is going to be a staple in my household of just watching it every, Halloween time or, Halloween season. I mean, I watched this morning with my daughter Riley, and she seemed to enjoy it. She was watching a lot of it. You know, she's still only 4 months old, but, that's just me convincing myself that she likes the things that me and my wife like. So, but I can see her liking this. And, this is very much a for the whole family type TV special. So that's just me telling you all you should watch it. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I will do a review on the Thanksgiving special and also the Charlie Brown Christmas, this year. So look out for those if you do follow the channel. And if you don't follow the channel, subscribe. I mean, because we do spooky stuff all the time. I here and there do non-spooky stuff, but especially this upcoming October, I mean, that's right around the corner. Going to be doing a lot of stuff. My wife and I recently just put out a video about going to Spirit and going antique hauling, and we got a couple cool things. So check that out. And yeah, give it a thumbs up on the video, and I appreciate you all watching. I will see you in a future video. Bye.